Hey, John Hickok here. I've got the Gen 5 Glock 19 for real this time. This is not a Rickroll like the other video that I did, which some of you, I've already taken it down. Some of you guys may have missed it. I think a lot of you saw it. But if you're not aware of what a Rickroll is, go look that up on Wikipedia. It's kind of an old internet joke. Some people call it a meme. I don't know how it's a meme, but it's a trick that people used to do to each other on the internet back in the glory days of the internet, before all the big media companies started getting their hands in it and everything. And I just thought it would be fun to do. I've never rickrolled anyone, and I thought my first rickroll I would just rickroll a ton of people, and it was fun. Some of you guys didn't like it, but some of you I think knew I was just trying to have some fun. That's all it was about. But anyways, this is real. This I'm not Rick Ashley. I'm John Hickok, and this is a real Gen 5 Glock 19. So either you're excited or you're super over it. I'm gonna let you guys think about that for a second while I shoot it. Okay. I'll expect you to have made up your mind by the time I'm done with this magazine. Okay. Well, that cowboy has not been shot. He could have been dangerous this whole time we were out here making videos, and no one's even shot him. Look at that orange follower. So now, as you know, I've said it a million times in these Anson videos, these are not the end all be all reviews or whatever you want to call it, like we do on Hickok 45. This is just me coming out here and just saying a few things about a gun and some other opinions maybe. So if you want to know all the specs on this gun, go to the Hickok 45 video, the Gen 5, and check that out, because you're not going to get that here. Well, first I'll say this. So I watched a lot of videos on this gun and a lot of different people's opinions on it. And I have to say, other than ours, of course, right? Our videos are always the best, right? They have to be. And of all the videos that I saw on the Glock 19 Gen 5, I have to say the video that James Yeager did, and it's not an endorsement of James Yeager. I've met him like a ton of times, and he's always a super nice guy to me. He, I think, did an amazing job of just laying out the things that were different, the things that he liked about it or didn't like about it. He didn't, get into the I'm over it culture that is just prevalent everywhere, it seems like, or the hysteria, the popularity of it. He just was very realistic about the different things that he liked about it or didn't like about it, and he wasn't emotional about it, and that I like that, and that's sort of what, of course, we tried to do on our video too. But as far as other than us, the videos I saw, that really impressed me. And I shouldn't expect different from him, of course. I usually will trust his opinion about things like this, and he of course took it from the training perspective, which I don't necessarily have. So I learned some things about it that I didn't think of. But that's one of the things. It was a breath of fresh air for me. This is what I'm trying to say. I've said all that to say that it was nice to see that, because the thing that's really annoyed me about the release of this gun is not the gun itself, which I'll get into in a second, is the reaction to it. Of course, it's a new Glock. Glock is one of the most popular, widespread handguns ever. I mean, they're huge, right? Everybody knows about Glocks. Lots of people love them and carry them, and lots of people hate them. But of course, people were excited about it. It's a new Glock. Of course, they're going to be excited about it because people like Glocks. So you've got that camp, and then you've got all these people that are just going overboard, trying to show how over it they are and how Glock doesn't innovate. It's just all marketing, just trying to resell the same crap over and over again, all this kind of stuff. Look, every gun company does stuff that's just for marketing. Every gun company does it, on different levels. So yeah, of course, there was some of that with this release. But Glock is not trying to innovate. I mean, they have a good handgun. It's solid, and it's basically, relatively speaking, unchanged, since its inception, with only very small differences. And big surprise, the new Gen 5 Glock, relatively unchanged. So there's no surprise from me about the Gen 5. It's a Glock. It's just a Glock with a few minor changes, just like every other generation. And it's not anything to get over it about or upset about. It is what it is. It's what you should have expected if you know anything about Glocks. And I just get kind of tired of people just constantly trying to prove how too cool for school that they are. It's just a Glock. It's nothing to get upset about. It's just a new Glock. With that being said, I don't really like it that much, to be honest. I don't hate it either, though. I still like the Gen 4 the best. Some of the reasons for that is the changes that they made for this generation none of them are really things that I necessarily care about. I mean, they're small enough changes to where if, you know, this was the only Glock I could find, it wouldn't really bother me that much. I mean, I'd just deal with it and be fine. But I still prefer the Gen 4. I like the finish on the Gen 4 better. I don't really care for the, you know, the blacker, slicker finish. The bevel magwell, you know, I don't feel like, you know, my use is gonna take advantage of anything like that. You know, if anything, it's just kind of in a way, it's something extra that I got to feel on the grip that I don't need to. The trigger, I kind of go back and forth on that one. You know, it has less of that wall, you know, like Dad talks about. You know, I think I agree with that. I think I like the wall. I think I do. It's not a political statement, by the way. I'm talking about trigger wall. I think I like the wall and the trigger. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I prefer that. So the trigger, I think, is not the new trigger is not a plus for me. Of course, the extra accurate barrel, you know, anyone that knows handgun shooting knows that's dumb. That doesn't make any sense. Of course, yeah, that is a marketing thing, obviously. But again, a lot of guns do that. Let's see, what were some of the other changes? Oh yeah, well, you know, one of the obvious ones, of course. You've got, you know, they're taking some of the metal off of the front, scalped it a little bit, and that's something that you see on the Glock 26 and the 27 and the smaller guns, of course. And you know, Dad really likes that. I think I don't like it as much as he does, probably, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's growing on me. It looks kind of cool, but it's not enough to make me go out and say, oh, I've got to have the Gen 5. You know, the Gen 4 I think is still my favorite, and the Gen 3 is really good too. I think both of those are great guns. So yeah, that's kind of my feeling on it. There's nothing that new about it that really makes me gravitate towards it. I'll stick with my Gen 4 or even my Gen 3, but I don't get all the crazy hysteria about people getting upset over this gun. It just doesn't make any sense. There's nothing out of the ordinary about the release of this gun to me. But okay, there was my rant. Sorry about that if that was really annoying to you, but I just had to get that out. Okay, now we're gonna shoot this thing some more. And as far as the experience of just firing the gun, feels about what you expect, you know, it feels like a Glock. Okay, let's get that cowboy some more. See if I can get the little plates. Glasses is fogging up a little bit. It's all right. It's extra training, right? Another thing too, you know, they hear people complain about all Glock models of the plastic sights, and that's never really bothered me. As far as the sight picture goes, you know, I like the sight picture of the factory sights. I don't think that's the issue that people have with the plastic sights. I think it's because they're plastic and they can and do break. But for most people, the average person, that's like far from an issue at all. It's just not an issue. Now, if you plan on doing a lot of hard use with your gun, or you're an operator or something like that, it's not a big deal if they're on some night sights, some metal sights or something. You know, so I assume that that's something that Glock does to keep costs down. If it's not, then I totally get the beef with it, because that's kind of messed up if they could put steel sights on there for the same money. But I'm assuming it keeps the cost down, and most people are fine with it. But you know, so that's not something that really bothers me a whole lot. Of course, we appreciate Federal for hooking us up with ammo, and don't forget to check out budsgunshop.com and go check them out, see what they have to offer, and then also go down into the link in the description of this video, and if you haven't joined the NRA yet, please do that through our link. Also sdi.edu if you want to get a career in gunsmithing. They also have a degree, an associate's degree in firearms technology, so check that out, especially if you're a veteran. They have accept GI Bill. So Some cool options for that if you want to get a job in the industry. Let's see, let's shoot something different. I'll shoot a little bit over on the hill. I don't want to venture out too much. I haven't shot this particular gun a whole lot. I mean, the 19 I have, but not this Gen 5. Let's try that Buffalo. I think I could probably hit that. There we go. Alright, let's try a couple on the gong. I'm not sure where to hold. Try holding at the bottom of it. Okay, went low. Alright, not too bad. Oh yeah, and then the orange follower is actually something that I think is kind of cool. So that, I think, really of all the changes, that seems to be one of the more, I don't know, one of the more practical ones. And of course, you know, you've got the, I think I forgot to mention, they went back to kind of the Gen 2 style. That's another thing people were saying. They're just recycling all their old ideas. I mean, whatever. I mean, this is what they decided to put out. They thought some people might like it. You know, it's not a big deal. I used to think that I liked this better because I had some of the Gen 2 guns, but I don't know, I think I like the finger grooves, honestly, and this little cutout right here does kind of bug me a little bit on the 19 size. On the 17 it doesn't, but on the 19 it does a little bit. So anyways, that's kind of how I feel about the Gen 5. I guess in a nutshell, I don't necessarily like it. I would rather have the Gen 4 or the Gen 3, but it doesn't make me mad like it seems to a lot of people for some reason. It's just a Glock with minor changes, you know. It's what we've been seeing for decades out of them, and I don't expect a lot of innovation out of them. I don't need it, you know. It'd be neat if they would offer an option to take that hump off, you know, come out with a carbine, you know, some kind, something like that. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. You know, they make a nice handgun. I enjoy them. A lot of great handguns out there, but you know, as long as they don't screw up their guns too much, then you know they won't bother me too much, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It won't bother me too much. Glock, that's my endorsement of Glock. Glock, it doesn't really bother me all that much.